wrestled. Best. All right, welcome to Thoughts Count Anywhere, where I am your host tonight. I know, small world, right? Johnny Rock, joined today by Matt, and of course, filling in for Scott and Aaron, we have the one and only Countdown Cameron. Good to see you, buddy. How you been?
What's up, Cameron?
Good. How have you guys been? You guys have been doing nice for yourselves.
I know. We've gone up in the world. We've gone from a green screen to
Football country.
to the Eagles. Yeah.
Oh, this
Undefeated
little guy
49ers
here.
over there.
Yeah,
This little
that-
speck on the wall.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, at least all the Cowboy stuff is down. Yep. Yeah. Thank you, Matt. He prepared for my arrival. He prepared for my arrival. It's been a pretty interesting wrestling news week, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it has been.
So, I've been hearing voices in my head. They talk to me. It's what they said. What's going on with Mike Bennett? Mike Canellis, man.
Supposedly, he's asked for his WWE release. Apparently, he figured out he's the father of the kid and doesn't want to do the storyline no more, maybe. I don't know.
It's a pretty,
In a sore spot.
it is a pretty bum
something we don't
storyline. I can't harp on that storyline enough.
Wonder who came up with that, Jen.
Oh, I feel like Vince might have laid the seed in someone's head. It's a Vince thing. It's a Vince thing.
Sounds about right.
Well, we know Mike Canellis ain't laying any seeds. But the interesting thing is that it's only Mike that's asked for his release. Maria's gone out denying the rumors, saying, "Oh, I haven't asked for my release. I'm good." So,
Well, she's a 24/7 champion.
not anymore.
Well, she was. She got more of a push than Mike Bennett in, what, a year?
Which is interesting because it seems like, Mike has actually been showing up a lot more on TV. Especially like, I know 205 Live isn't on its last legs right now, but, he's had a presence on 205 Live over the last year. And, of course, I don't know how much stock we put into dark matches, but he had a huge spot on the dark match after SmackDown.
Yeah.
Usually they put their big name guys in there.
Sure.
Granted, it was originally, so for those who don't know, Matt and I were at SmackDown Friday night.
Yeah.
And the dark match was originally billed as just a one-on-one singles match between Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. You got two of your top guys right there, people the audience want to see. And rather than getting a match, we got a run-in by Drew Gulak, Tony Nese, and Mike Canellis.
Yeah.
And, of course, it all led to a spot where Canellis ate a stunner and an RKO. But he had a lot to say, just putting himself over. And, he's got the makings of a star, and he's making a case for himself.
He does, yeah. He was really good in the Kingdom and Ring of Honor, and I'm surprised WWE didn't roll with what he was already kind of doing, and
Because it was a good idea.
No,
true.
it's true. I mean,
It's getting to the point where Raw and SmackDown are where good ideas go to die.
yeah.
This week's Raw was quite indicative of that.
We'll get to that when we talk to Raw, because there's a little bit of arson on all of our hearts, I think. Burn it down action. I'm surprised you're not wearing the shirt, man.
I was going to, but I had it in the washing machine and forgot to turn the dryer on last night.
Oh, man. Whoops. Ugh. It's a shame. That was a pretty nice shirt. For those who don't know, Matt got an awesome feet shirt at SmackDown.
Yeah.
So, other rumors in the rumor mill. Apparently, WWE failed to capitalize in purchasing Noah.
That's kind of crazy. I didn't know that was a thing. But if they're going to try to launch NXT Japan like they say they want to, that's one hell of a milestone to make that happen.
Well, yeah, and of course, Noah's not, it's not the biggest brand in the country, but it's a well-respected brand.
Yeah.
But what can WWE really do in Japan at this point? Other than try to encroach in a territory that's, these promotions have such history and they have such a stranglehold on that region.
And a core audience. You go, Japanese fans are much different from U.S. fans when it comes to their pro wrestling.
They have etiquette. There's a certain way that wrestling
and they have
is
loyalties. You get some guys who will only watch Noah and they won't watch New Japan. You got some guys that watch All Japan only. You know, you've got the women's only promotions.
Yeah, it's why none of these promotions have women's divisions. They don't need them, unlike.
Yeah, they got entire women's promotions.
Yeah, and they've had them for decades.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of history there, and you're right. Like to see WWE just come in and swoop in and take over. I think they're going to meet a lot of resistance if that's the route they're going to take.
Yeah, they'll probably try to open a performance center and think they're going to poach off like most of New Japan or All Japan Pro Wrestling's like talent. And I don't see that happening too much.
I don't think they're going to try and go into Japan at this point now. They got caught trying to buy Noah. I would imagine they're a little embarrassed by this news getting out.
But you act like it's the hand in the cookie jar thing. You know, I mean, Triple H has gone on record saying he wants the NXT brand to be global. And it seems an awful lot like he's trying to bring back the old territory system. He's got his UK territory, he's got his US territory, he's trying to bring the Japan market. I know they've talked about NXT Australia or Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
You got the Indian market, the Saudi Arabian market, wrestling, and Triple H is really spearheading this global NXT brand. I think the only downside of that would be just too much of a good thing. You know,
not necessarily if you have it if you have it in a territory-like format.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not like with here where these guys travel throughout the states. They're not going to be going, from place to place as often as they would from, say, Las Vegas to Los Angeles.
But do you think it'd be taking away talent? Like, say they have NXT Japan, would they pull Shinsuke Nakamura over there to be a figurehead of that brand? Would we lose Io Shirai, Asuka? I mean, these are big names who are already, popular here in the States. Would they dilute their own product to put talent elsewhere?
I can see
probably. They probably would do that.
Interesting. Okay.
But with the idea that because they're growing in all of these countries, that there's going to be an innate talent pool to pull from each one of those regions. And I'm pretty skeptical of that.
Okay. Well, and it's good to be skeptical, but I really think it might be, you can have too much of a good thing.
Right. It's different when you're introducing wrestling into a country, and most everybody that goes in is going to more or less be new to the idea of professional wrestling. There aren't going to be too many.
I'm actually pulling up our live feed right now so I can keep on the comments. We already have Scott and Aaron watching from afar. So hi guys.
What's up, guys?
So the other half of our regular team. You can vilify me later and say I'm a terrible host because I'm not used to being the guy asking the questions here.
Yeah, I wasn't much prepared for this.
It's all right. We're gonna, we wing it. We wing it on this show. The show must go on. We're sorry we didn't go on yesterday. We were preempted by the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show. And if you get that reference, please chime in because I thought it was a good joke. Also, if anybody else is watching, we are doing a little bit of a Q&A session. So if you have any opinions, your thoughts count here too. Thoughts count anywhere. So if you have any thoughts or opinions you want to convey to us, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I've got the live stream. I'm watching your comments right now. So if you have a question for us, feel free to ask. We'll answer pretty much anything.
Yeah.
What's your shoe size?
11 and a half.
Yeah, keep it wrestling. So we're going to move on. I mean, there wasn't a lot in the rumor mill that wasn't confirmed or denied and all this week. So we're just going to move right into WWE. It's been a rather interesting week. We have two NXTs to cover. There's two Wednesdays that went by.
Yeah.
I'm just going to briefly gloss over last week's because at this point it's old news. And a lot of what was set up on last week was delivered on this week. So,
yeah.
You had probably the highlight of the entire show for me was, outside of matches, segment-wise, was Velveteen Dream with the Roddy Strong photo, which Velveteen got his comeuppance this week because of a real-life injury.
Yeah.
So, guys, what are your thoughts on NXT for the last couple weeks?
It's been a really good show. The Wednesday Night Wars is really a thing.
And to be honest, they're the best two products out there right
They're
now.
the best two products in wrestling right now, for sure.
NXT has been the best product in wrestling for years.
But AEW, after a rocky start, I mean, I know Scott and I had our issues with the premiere, mainly with production, camera angles, the pyro made things a little too hazy and smoky. I feel like AEW's kind of learned from that mistake, which is a good sign. They're learning, and
and we knew that they were going to have to.
Yeah.
To an extent.
And it's they're definitely learning to walk before they run. Things with AEW, especially in this first year, are not going to be smooth sailing at all. They're going to have their hiccups. They've already been bitten by the injury bug. Luchasaurus is out.
They're still on that learning curve.
Yeah. So
it seems they seem to be doing pretty well ratings wise.
Ratings wise, they're great.
NXT.
Which sucks because NXT is still a great product.
Yeah.
We'll see if that all evens out within 6 months. See once the hype of AEW goes away and it's just a thing. We'll see if where the ratings lie then. That's when I'll decide who's really gonna win this war.
See, to me, it's not a war because everybody's winning. All the fans are winning.
Yeah.
Especially, if you take the time to watch both shows, they're the two best wrestling shows.
But you're only winning if you're not watching Raw or SmackDown because it's a whole different landscape at this point.
It is.
It's NXT has always been the safe haven for us nerds about wrestling. And my big fear with NXT being on USA is that's going to get taken away from us.
I don't think so because it seems like it's been the old NXT. They're still at Full Sail.
And I don't think that it's I don't really feel that that's actually happening, but.
So Aaron says he didn't know today was live at 7 based on... No, we don't... Aaron, we said Matt got off work at 4:30. We could meet anytime after. Aaron says he could have been here.
Said he wasn't available the rest of the week.
You said you weren't available the rest of the week, man. Apologies.
Hi, Aaron.
Apologies. So back to the whole NXT thing. There is one feud I really want to highlight. It's been going on for a couple months now, and that's the Dominic Dijakovic and Keith Lee feud. And these guys are just on fire every time they take the ring together. I think last night was their 4th time locking up, and it was still just as entertaining as the first time. And one thing I wanted to highlight was how incredible is Keith Lee?
That dude is freaking amazing.
So I'm going to go back to my past here for a minute. I remember one of my favorite wrestling video games. I play all the video games. I buy them every year. But the first one that really struck a chord with me was back when Acclaim made WWE Attitude or Warzone.
Oh yeah.
It was actually the first wrestling video game where you were able to create a character.
Yeah.
And there were no weight limitations or moveset restrictions, and just the move, you could give your guy the move. And I remember I made this guy. I made him the largest dimensions you can. His name was El Gordo. He was just the fattest luchador you ever saw. His name was El Gordo, but he had luchador moves. So he's busting out Hurricane Ranas and moonsaults and all the flippy stuff. And I made him as a joke, and I made his tag team partner the smallest guy you can make, and he did all power moves. But I'm watching.
He's real.
Keith Lee is real. Keith Lee is that guy I made in my head as a 14-year-old.
That's a thing.
That's a thing now. We have 300-pounders doing the flippy stuff, acting like a young buck out there.
Oh, I know.
Walter would be the living incarnation of my ideal.
Right.
But you touched on a really good point. It's really cool to see these monsters move around the way they do.
We always say Bam Bam Bigelow was the pioneer of that, the athletic, agile big man. But my God, even Bam Bam doesn't hold a candle with Keith Lee.
But and they're not treading too much into lucha territory where it starts to look a little unrealistic.
No, but it's you watch, especially those two guys. They're both big men. They're both huge.
You need to put that on SmackDown. That's what the average. I was talking to Matt about this earlier. At my work, there's TVs everywhere, all over the gaming floor, the dining room, and between Fox and Fox Sports 1 and ESPN, everything that they're showing WWE related, and every time something like that's on, everybody who sees it just kind of stops and just watches it for a second. Doesn't say anything. So they have a really good opportunity to get people's attention because the fact that they're on Fox, they're getting people's attention by default.
Yeah.
And
I honestly think that, you're right. WWE should be putting the best talent on their A show on Friday nights.
Just seeing some little thing like that, like catching somebody's attention, like Rollins coming out or Becky. Could you imagine Keith Lee doing some crazy move? They'd be talking about that all weekend long to everybody.
But see, that's the main difference between...
But see, what they won't be doing is talking about Seth Rollins doing that.
Exactly.
No, he does that every week.
But even Seth Rollins has really dialed back his moveset. Seth has gotten really formulaic in the ring, I feel like. He's not, like, I haven't seen him bust out a Phoenix Splash over a year.
I can't even remember the last time he's even tried one. I
I
think in WWE history he's landed at one.
It seems like, to me, the main difference between AEW and NXT and, putting those two on one side of the formula and putting Raw and SmackDown on the other is that it seems like there's some kind of disconnect between both schools of thought about match production, about what spots you're going to do. I think the reason Raw and SmackDown are losing so much in the ratings is because they're just boring. The matches haven't been exciting. They save all the exciting stuff for the pay-per-view. I can't really remember. I mean, I think the last exciting match I saw on SmackDown that was like truly like eye-poppingly exciting to me was Andrade and Rey Mysterio.
I was about to say the same thing.
Yeah. So you've got the guys on Wednesday night, bending over backwards and killing themselves, managing to strike a balance between high spots and telling a good story. Monday and Friday really need to step up their game.
Well, Friday they have to do differently if they're going to get the audience. They can't put. I don't think they can put NXT or AEW style wrestling to a mainstream audience and get the attention that they think it's going to get.
Right.
And I have this argument with a lot of wrestling fans. The wrestling that we like because we know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
The average person has an expectation of what professional wrestling is supposed to look like. And when they see a guy, like when we see something on AEW, we see, I'm going to go back to Michael Nakazawa again. When you see this guy oiling him up, we laugh at it. We laugh because we get it. But you show that to the average person you're trying to get into wrestling,
He'll turn the channel and
like, what is this?
Yeah.
So I would suggest that some of the things that SmackDown's doing right is bringing in Cain Velasquez, bringing in Tyson Fury. With that, SmackDown, everybody on SmackDown, everything in SmackDown needs to be presented like a sport. You can still have your angles, you can still have your gimmicks, you can still have your characters. Wrestling has to have that to exist.
Well, see, that's why I was shocked with some of the draft choices, because SmackDown brought in a lot of character-based wrestlers, and they even let some of the more sports-oriented people go to Raw. Like, I thought for sure that at least one of, arguably the big two of women in the company are Charlotte. I expected them to be on separate brands, but no, they're both on Raw, and Raw seems to actually have the superior women's division. Granted, you got Bayley and Sasha, and now Alexa Bliss on SmackDown.
Yeah, you could have put Becky and Charlotte on SmackDown.
But
Becky for star power alone, and then Charlotte for being, the wrestler's wrestler as far as women are concerned.
I thought for sure Charlotte would be on SmackDown.
So did I. Did you see like all the promos and everything going into SmackDown? Even like the opening video, it's all Roman and Charlotte.
Yeah, they're definitely have to change that opening video because Becky was highly featured in it. Seth was featured.
Yeah, it's like
oh, they're Raw people now.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen when WWE finally has proof that no one cares about Roman?
Actually, pump the brakes on that, because since Roman came back from his cancer, and I'm not even claiming the cancer, I mean, yeah, Roman took the time off he needed. I'm glad he's in remission. I'm glad he's better. But I'm really, really happy and impressed with the way they booked Roman since he came back, and I don't hate him nearly as much. I really don't. They didn't slingshot him into the title picture. He's been working meaningful feuds. I mean, granted, I had issue at first with the Eric Rowan feud, but by the end of it, I was like, okay, I'm sold on this. My main issue with that was that I felt like that was something that could have been resolved on a show, on a TV show, and that they took the pay-per-view spot away from the King of the
Yeah.
That was my only gripe with that entire feud. I thought, it was good. It started off really rocky, but I like the way they're booking him. I really do. As long as they have him flirting with the top of the card, but not at the top of the card. Maybe put him there like around one of the big four.
Do that for a little while and then turn him full-blown heel and give him the belt.
I would not be against it.
You have your top guy. Like, just
Well, SmackDown in Vegas, it was Seth versus Roman. And
Roman was over.
like Grover in that thing. There was no Seth Rollins chance. It was all, let's go Roman.
Well, that's mainly because I think if anybody's going to be making the heel turn, it's the natural heel turn because I believe Seth is getting X-Pac heat right now.
Seth is kind of annoying in
Well,
real
how are
life
you
in
going to put a
general.
babyface up there? How are you going to put your top babyface out there and have him do everything that pisses people off?
Yeah, and he's a Twitter troll on top of it.
Yeah.
Did you see him defending the finish of Hell in a Cell?
Oh,
He's like, well, maybe if the referee stopped Mick and Taker's match. Dude, shut up on Twitter, man.
Someone needs to take his phone away from him.
You're right. It's like when I've had too much to drink, I lock my phone and I give it to a friend. So,
you know who should really put him in his place on Twitter?
Huh?
You know who should really put him in his place on Twitter?
Becky Lynch.
Because she's the best at it.
Oh yeah, man. Becky Lynch.
Beyonce is the worst at it.
Yeah.
And
You need to take Twitter lessons from her.
Well, definitely proving that she is the man.
She wears the pants in that relationship, guaranteed.
Oh man, I just don't know how she could put up a Seth's laugh from day to day. I love Seth Rollins. Don't get me wrong, but the guy laughs like a gremlin. Like yeah.
I think
Don't feed
another
Seth
thing
Rollins
that
after midnight.
would really benefit both the NXT style side of things and then the main roster side of things is factions.
I love factions.
We need more factions.
We always need more
Undisputed era,
factions.
baby.
Huh?
Undisputed era.
That's
baby.
right.
And that's a good start.
And who's the most over on NXT right now? A faction.
Adam Cole.
Adam
They
Cole,
always
bang,
do.
bang.
They're always the most successful.
Yeah. It's why, it really breaks my heart that we've actually had good factions that they did nothing with. Like, I miss Sanity. Granted, Killian Dane's killing it on NXT right now. But,
Like, look
hell,
Jericho and Inner Circle.
Alexander Wolf.
even Imperium. Dude, Imperium's great. If you watched NXT last night, awesome match between Lorcan and Birch and Marcel Bartel and Fabian Eichner. It was, which, to me, I don't know if you ever played that old board game, Axis and Allies.
Oh yeah.
Do you ever notice, whenever those two teams square up, you have a German and an Italian versus an American and a Brit. It's like World War II in the ring. How has nobody made that connection?
Didn't think about that until right now.
Right? You have that, just throwing a Japanese guy on one team and throwing a Canadian guy. You got the Second World War right there. I don't know. I'm a student of history, and that's like a little interesting food for thought thing. So anyway, but NXT was great. Moving into more so SmackDown, we saw it live. I thought it was a pretty decent show. It was a lot better than the previous week, but there was a 1 billion viewer ratings hit.
I thought it was a good show, but you can't start off a show with Roman versus Seth. With a Fiend interfering. That's like main event level stuff.
I don't know.
To follow it up with Shorty Gable and Baron Corbin.
As much as I like
Really?
seeing those guys lock up, I'm getting a little sick. What was that, the fifth time we've seen Shorty Gable? Shorty G, yo.
Good lord.
They work great in the ring together, and it's really doing its job to put over Corbin as a monster heel. But move on, both guys need to move on.
Yeah, definitely.
There are better feuds out there for both of them. I hope that we only got a rehash of this because it was the draft episode. We didn't know where we were going to wind up.
Those matches didn't even really make sense either because they said it was for draft picks.
No, only the first one.
But even then, they said beforehand there's 3 picks for Raw, 2 for SmackDown.
Oh, we got
Even
Jason and Mikey are on the channel. What's up, guys?
Even if somebody won, it's still the same amount of people no matter what. And everybody was already drafted on website, and it was literally an order.
Oh yeah, they leaked the order.
It was like an hour before SmackDown even aired. It was directly an order.
They need a kayfabe bootleg. Swear.
We need Jack Tunney back, is what we need.
They need like a framework to go off of and stop making these on-the-fly decisions.
Yes,
all
well,
the time.
you can watch
Every
the
time
football
they
game
do
in our
this.
upper corner.
I'm sure everybody's hoping the XFL starts soon, so
Right.
Vince has something else to do.
Yeah, everybody's hoping.
Right.
You know.
So
Hey,
part of
I'm telling you,
We're not getting a team.
I'm
but,
telling
yeah,
you,
we're hoping for
the ultimate
XFL.
draft pick that we're not talking about. Tell you, Andrew Luck is going to be starting quarterback for one of those XFL teams. I guarantee it.
He'll be the championship game MVP.
He'll be the Chris Jericho of the XFL. He'll be Le Champion. I mean, when your father is the CEO of the league, come on, you can't start.
If Shane can get a job in WWE, Andrew Luck can get a job in the XFL.
Yeah. So Jason agrees with you. Please elaborate, Jason. What do you agree with Matt on? Matt's made a lot of really good points tonight. So, I am stoked for the XFL too, Mike. I want to see like NFL Blitz style. I want to see the nickname jerseys come back.
He hates me. Everybody still remembers.
Oh
that.
yeah, everybody still remembers Tommy the Gun Maddox.
Yeah.
Remember that?
No, they wouldn't. Yeah, they couldn't do that now.
I want them. I want every team.
Somebody would make a big deal about that. As somebody would do named Tommy Gunn, or he hate me. Like, oh, it's hate. It's offensive.
Oh,
Ruin that
Jesus.
person's career.
I think football could use a little bit of
Needs
pro
an
wrestling
edge to it.
Needs a little bit of an edge to it.
No. That was the attitude before.
I mean, I did like when the Eagles were in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and freaking they powerbombed Brandon Cooks out of his damn shoes, and it looked just like the pop-up powerbomb. So of course, me being me, I've just immediately taken to Twitter, like posted a gif like Brandon Cooks be liking as Kevin Owens just powerbombing somebody. So I think that was Malcolm Jenkins that did that too.
Yeah, I think it was actually. It was,
Oh, so Jason interfered with you that the Seth Roman match with the Fiend interfering should have been main event level.
that should have been the main event of the show.
I don't think anybody wouldn't think that really. Like it's.
I like the setup for it. I mean, you have
been watching.
I did like the setup for it. I'll defend it. I'll defend it because, it was for draft picks. It was for the number one pick. And it was a good match. It was a good thing to start the show with. And honestly, the main event, I was not disappointed with.
It was a good match.
I mean, Evil Bailey.
Bailey.
Evil Bailey.
I didn't see that. Was there a video where the little kid was crying over it, or?
Oh, I saw that on my way here. There's a kid crying, and Sasha Banks replied laughing.
Wait, what was that little girl that was?
See, kayfabe is important, people.
What was that little girl who
Kids
was
still
Bailey's
believe.
biggest fan at Full Sail?
Yeah.
I forgot.
Now she's like a heel and
Oh yeah,
she's doing wrestling.
Yeah,
stuff.
she's 15 now, and she's actually learning the craft, and she's a massive heel in her training promotion or whatever. God, what's her name? I forget. I
can't remember. Somebody let us know in the comments.
If anybody remembers the name of Bailey's biggest fan, the one who
Oh,
was
Izzy.
Izzy,
Yeah,
that's Izzy.
there we go.
Yeah, I heard her dad was there at every show, and she cried every time Bailey did something amazing. Yeah, no, that's the future of the business.
I
right
cry
there.
every time she comes out for other reasons.
Did you mourn the Bailey buddies? Did you mourn them? When
No.
she took that weird axe
I
handle?
don't like Bailey in general, so I didn't really care.
I like this though.
I like her new theme music.
I do like her new music. So it's
Yeah,
pretty-
I like it too.
So I'm kind of sad they didn't debut her with that. Have her come out to the old theme and then once she chopped them. But all of a sudden she wins the belt again, and then they're just playing new music. I thought there should have been more fanfare for her new music.
The whole time I was like, this is stupid, but that's some cool music.
Right?
I think she should kill I think she should kill the Bailey buddies every time. Every week come out, that's her entrance.
I don't know, because she kind of botched it a little bit. I thought it took a little bit longer than it should have.
Well, they'll find new methods.
And when we get to AEW, there is one major criticism I have of AEW for the last 2 weeks at least, and I'll get to that when we move on to AEW. But first off, is there any other issues about, for one, this past Raw, other than the one major elephant in the room, seemed pretty uneventful for me. I mean, the only takeaways I had from Raw were Viking Raiders finally winning the belts.
That was awesome.
Viking Raiders are technically undefeated.
Yeah, they are.
since NXT. They just gave up the belts. They didn't lose them.
Yeah.
They're like, put them in a ladder match. We're not even going to compete it. We're not even going to defend it. Just put them in there. We're on main roster now. Viking Raiders have not taken a pinfall or a submission loss since entering WWE. Now they're the Raw Tag Team Champs.
That is awesome. That was a highlight of my night for sure.
But, and this is probably the low light of your night. What do you think about the Firefly match, man?
Arrest Seth Rollins for arson.
Goes back to what I was saying.
Can we not have nice things?
Goes back to what I was saying. They push this guy as the top good guy, and then he does stuff like that.
So,
I wonder what Bray Wyatt's response to this is going to be.
you know, I hope he shows up on SmackDown with a new Firefly Funhouse.
He better.
And he's just like, it was all in my head, Seth. like, I feel like with the Fiend, you just got to go full ridiculous at this point. You know?
Yeah.
Like, Vince has come out saying he doesn't want the Fiend to be a supernatural character. But I think WWE kind of needs that. I mean,
No.
what's the coolest things we remember about The Undertaker?
We were kids.
There are kids that watch this product now.
It's kind of funny you say that,
They're
though.
trying to
'cause
fill them more than just kids.
As you're talking about
to
as you're talking about the video game, WWE 2K20 comes out Monday.
Yeah.
And they just released, like, the Fiend's entrance. And even Corey Graves, during his entrance, goes, "Oh my God, this is supernatural."
Right. Well, that whole DLC pack is ridiculous. They got like Braun Strowman as a Frankenstein monster and like Aleister Black as a literal like devil.
Yeah,
I can't
don't
wait
they
for
have
that
like
game to
random like outside the ring stages?
Oh yeah, like it's like
Finally.
there's an arena that's like a swamp, like
Long overdue.
One
which is
looks
cool
like
because
hell.
I could probably recreate Final Deletion on there. All I need is dilapidated boat. Senor Benjamin.
Yeah, the mod community for that game is gonna
Right.
be.
Oh God, yeah. I'm so excited for the mod community for 2K20. I'm getting the big Boomer SmackDown edition on Monday.
Yeah, somebody's getting new graphics chip.
Huh?
Somebody's getting a new graphics chip.
So yeah, no, I'm very excited for 2K20. I heard I've heard from insiders that the career mode is going to be awesome. A little upset they didn't tweak universe mode. I still want a return to general manager mode.
Yeah,
That's the one I want. Like that's all I care about. It's just pick up and play. Just something.
But I think maybe like by 2K22 they'll finally, because people have been asking for general manager mode to come back in video games for like 10 years now.
Yeah.
Finally, I hope they start listening. Like they keep adding more customization options, and I'm like, we don't need customization options. We need a good game to play. Just it's there. The customization's been great since like 2K12.
Yeah.
Just give us more content. Because it
Seems
seems
general manager mode that works like those old text-based.
yeah. I
wrestling
want to
thing.
negotiate I remember Madden came out with like a counterpart game called Head Coach.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Remember that? And it was
You
like
know what I'm talking about? Like the old text-based.
yeah, you got to
like,
simulate
database,
everything.
and you got to add things that you wanted to, and then I remember having one that came out like a patch that had like every wrestler known in existence at that point.
So Mikey's chiming in. He's saying that NWA is gold right now, which I've only seen the first episode of NWA Power, and it was great. It was very old school. I'm probably gonna watch episode 2 when I get home tonight.
Where are they showing?
YouTube.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on YouTube for free. Free wrestling out there. If you're not watching NWA and you've got about 45 minutes to an hour to kill, watch some good old school wrestling. I can literally just see like
The YouTube wrestling is the best right now.
oh, dude,
With
AEW Dark.
MLW?
Have you been watching AEW Dark?
Is that on YouTube too?
It's their dark matches. They put them on YouTube. It's like an hour-long program, and they've been solid.
Yeah, put some good matches on there for sure.
So let's move on to AEW real quick. Guys, what's your takeaways from Dynamite, man?
The stuff where Darby Allin was doing with his hand tied behind his back to Chris Jericho, that was some amazing stuff.
Do you know that actually turned the crowd, but do you know why?
Why?
So, they announced on commentary that it would be a Philadelphia street fight. But submissions and rope breaks would still be counted.
That makes
Commentary said that. But no ring announcer said it for the live crowd. So as soon as Darby Allin went for that rope break and the referee broke the hold, the crowd turned on that match.
You can't be doing that stuff in an ECW.
They started booing, and of course it's my hometown crowd. Yeah. We all know what us Philadelphians are famous for. Our ability to troll the talent in the ring is legendary.
They've seen a hardcore match or two there, I think.
Yeah, but so they're loudly chanting. Like, rewatch the broadcast if you didn't catch it. They're loudly chanting, "It's a street fight," because there were 2 rope breaks. Granted, one of those rope breaks was to set up the duct tape, but you know you got to convey that to your live audience.
Yeah, definitely.
That was
turn on you.
It was a solid match, but
bad enough you have to hear that AEW commentary.
Mm-hmm. So actually, since they added Shivani, the AEW commentary is a lot better.
Well, yeah, I would imagine because it's like.
So, any gripes about AEW though, other than that main event watch?
Not really. It's been a pretty solid show. And tag matches have been amazing.
Entrances are too long.
You think so? Yeah, I can see that. I tend to skip forward through them. I love my DVR.
I like Moxley. I like his new music. And actually, didn't Kane?
Yeah.
Shout out to our buddy Kane Churko from Versus Pro Wrestling. Mr. Kane actually designed John Moxley's theme music.
Oh wow.
So.
Fun little fact.
You know, but I do feel like their entrances were dragging on a little bit too much. It's like, okay, he's out in the ring. You know, that's one thing I feel like WWE has down to a science is they know how much time to give each person. You know,
yeah.
Get out there, peacock a little, do your thing for the audience, and but then let's get to the match.
Yeah.
And
save the long entrances for the bigger shows, the supercards.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a normal episode of Dynamite.
With those two, if you're gonna do that. Make them production heavy.
Yeah.
Make them.
But I don't want to watch John Moxley just pacing around the ring while his music's playing, and for it just seemed overly long.
It's like okay, back to WWE 2K games.
Mm-hmm.
After a while, you skip over the entrance.
You start to skip
for a while, but once you've seen them enough, you play the same guy enough.
Mm-hmm.
That you don't.
Some I never get tired of though. Like if I'm playing Aleister Black, I will never skip his intro.
True.
So yeah, AEW has been, to me there hasn't been anything really eye-popping about it in the last couple weeks, but it's been solid and it's been consistent.
Yeah.
And the matches, especially the matches, have been really, really, really enjoyable. If you're a fan of the match quality, AEW's your show. And they're getting better at storytelling, I feel. It's not just a bunch of spot monkeys doing spots. But some of the spots they do come up with are inventive and stuff you don't see every day.
Watching the little attack child attacked by Pentagon.
Oh my god, that lucha.
That package pile driver looked like it legit hurt.
It looked like when Pentagon had that 5-year-old in the pack.
Almost photoshopped that.
So we're making a reference to a show that we did a few weeks ago. It was right after the FSW 10th anniversary show. Pentagon Jr. picked a 5-year-old child out of the crowd who was wearing a Pentagon mask and put him in the package pile driver clutch before the referee called him off. It was the spot of the night. Everybody was cheering. Everybody was really getting into it. That kid was on cloud 9. He's like, oh my God, Penta picked me up. But watching him do that to Marco Stunt,
it brought flashbacks.
It was such a, oh man, Marco Stunt. That kid, wow. Like I thought my favorite spot of that entire match was when he was up on Jungle Boy's shoulders, and Jungle Boy just tosses him at them, and he turns into a Hurricane Rana. It was great. So
he's good.
So Mikey, please clarify. You say what happened to the Demon Finn? Are we talking about in the video game, or are we talking about in wrestling? Because if we're talking about in wrestling, I feel like Demon Finn's going to be a lot more prevalent on NXT. At least from his promo last night, it seemed he was gearing towards that.
I don't think they're going to give us that anymore.
Well, no, because
I hope I'm wrong.
Because Finn said, "My future is my past," and then the screen faded to black, and you heard the heartbeat. Remember that, whenever he comes out as Demon Finn, there's that heartbeat.
Yeah.
So I think Demon Finn may be returning a lot more in NXT, especially because the Demons
I'm down with that.
Really got him over, and I would
like to see him do more some of the stuff he did in Japan.
Huh?
I'd like to see him do some of the stuff he's
Well, I love
Venom,
heel.
face paint, and the,
I love heel Fergal. So, yeah, give me more heel Fergal. Give me Bullet Club in WWE. Give me, like, as I said.
don't
like,
give me don't give me Bullet Club. Give me something new.
But no, heel Finn is a great. A lot of the WWE crowd doesn't know how good of a heel he is. God, he was one of the most hated men in Japan.
It was like people just realized how good of a heel Daniel Bryan was
Right?
for a while, but he was like biggest heel in Ring of Honor for a hot minute.
The American
Daniel
Dragon.
Bryan was the best heel not signed to WWE.
Actually, Daniel Bryan does something that I used to do in the ring too, and it's one of my favorite heel spots that I never see anybody do anymore, especially if you're a submission wrestler. When they go for the rope break, and you wait till the count of 4, and then you release it, and you're just getting the wrestlers. I have till 5. I miss that. Like, and even like I was hoping with the whole heel Daniel Bryan gimmick, and he started using the little bell lock again. I really wanted to see him do that in WWE. He's yet to do that in WWE. But I mean,
Did somebody do
it's
that
such a
recently?
great heel thing to do. You hold the count. You have a 5 count until you get disqualified. Why do you break on 2, especially if you're a heel?
I can't remember who did that. That was like this was last week. One of the last 2 weeks. Somebody, I think it was Corbin. He had somebody in some kind of move.
Corbin doesn't do
And-
submissions. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, it's somebody in like I think it was like gouging their eyes or something.
Okay.
He's doing something crazy. And they like counted to 4 and the referee's going like this and he's like, I had till 5.
Right? All right, quick time check. We got about 15 minutes. Let's go. Let's cover the rest of the indies. New Japan. What's our big news from New Japan, man?
The belt was taken off of John Moxley.
Why?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't defend it.
Well, I don't think that was his fault.
Storm.
I mean, so we're not talking Lance Storm here. We're talking a actual storm.
The cyclone.
But we are talking about Lance Archer.
Yes, Lance Archer is your new IGWP United States champion. That is the name of it, am I?
That's correct.
Yes, you're right.
Okay, yeah. And the defending champion never even got a chance to defend it. I think Moxley kind of got the raw end of the stick on this.
He got hosed on that one.
I mean, Zack Sabre Jr. also missed the show for the same reason. Did Zack Sabre Jr. get punished?
You can take a belt off somebody just because of the leather.
It's not like
their fault.
It's not like he pulled a Brock Lesnar and just moved home with the belt.
This might have been an AEW thing.
You think? Because I heard they were still planning on letting Moxley do Wrestle Kingdom. Because Moxley really wants to do Wrestle Kingdom.
I'd love to see that.
That sounds awesome, but I don't think that's something that I see AEW back.
You think this could? See, I'm gonna take the inverse on this because what if this is just a setup to a bigger match?
I can
What if
see that.
what if at Wrestle Kingdom you get a triple threat between all 3 of those guys? Juice Robinson, Lance Archer, and Moxley.
We can only hope.
I'd pay to see that.
I think put butts in seats,
Yeah?
especially butts in Japanese seats.
Yeah?
But now you have to look at it from AEW's perspective. That's their guy.
One of their top guys.
Yeah.
Right. And he's going to go to Japan and make them a lot of money.
Well, I don't think it's about the money thing because even Kenny Omega, and Kenny Omega is one of the executive presidents. Even Kenny
Well, I know
Omega.
for Moxley, it's probably not about money. It's about
Omega said he
wrestling.
wants to do Wrestle Kingdom still.
But I'm saying for AEW, I mean, they are a company.
They are a company, yes.
So, I mean, if they're going to let him do it, that's fine. But if they don't want him to do it, then this is probably a telltale sign that
Oh no, other
He's not
executive
gonna
vice
be
presidents
in
have kind of
Japan.
made their name in Japan.
Yeah.
So,
And they're still open to wrestlers working for other promotions. I mean, MJF is still a
That's
member of the Dynasty down there.
I was wondering about that too.
Yeah.
Pentagon and Phoenix are still taking like independent.
Oh yeah, they're still a AAA, CMLL. I mean, they're,
Well, they have a deal with
yeah. Well, yeah, AEW has to deal with AAA. I'd like to see more.
CMLL is doing. They're with Ring of Honor, right? Now that Japan doesn't want anything to do with them. 'cause-
Ring of Honor. Poor
Nobody wants anything to do with Ring of Honor.
Oh man, that's what happens when you make Matt Taven your champ. All right, so anything about Impact? Any good?
Tessa Blanchard wrestled.
Hey, we like that.
And she has a chance to win the X Division Championship on Sunday.
And she also has a chance. Well, I'd rather you have a chance to meet Tessa Blanchard here at Power Play Sports. Tell me a little bit about that, Matt. You want to grab the flyer?
Her and her dad, Tully Blanchard, a member of the Four Horsemen, We'll be here
Like,
November
you didn't know
2nd
that.
from 12 to 2.
And we'll be here too, so you can come and say hi to us.
We'll be here, sitting here with them, possibly having them on the show.
Yep.
They'll be here 12 to 2. You can buy your tickets at PowerPlaySportsCards.com.
All right, so now that the plug is over, we are moving on. Tessa Blanchard's wrestling Bound for Glory. I think the only other notable Bound for Glory news is that Sami Callihan versus Brian Cage.
Guaranteed Sami Callihan wins the belt because Brian Cage's back is beyond messed up.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Spoilers. Actually, I'd be more shocked if he retains.
Me too, actually.
So, the big thing I want to talk about is that in local news, Sunday night, I'm just going to start small, then we'll start with the steak. Then we go with start with the sizzle, then we go with the steak. Sunday night, Big Valley Wrestling, BBW at the Sahara Event Center, has a big event coming up called Tricks, Treats, and Turmoil. Your boy, me, and Aaron, who's not here today, will be your commentary team for it. Come on out, say hi to us. Check out BBW. We've got a great card lined up with some of Las Vegas' best local talent. So come check that out. Again, Sahara Event Center. Look up Big Valley Wrestling on Facebook. You can get all the event details there. I'll also share a flyer to my personal page and the Thoughts Count Anywhere page. But the big news in local Vegas wrestling. Who made their WWE debut on 205 Live this week?
Boy.
Our boy!
Chris Bey?
Chris Bey! Chris Bey has officially hit the big times.
He's officially canon.
He's officially canon.
Officially WWE canon.
Chris Bey will live on forever on the WWE network, if not only for one match. Told you he's going places. So shout out to Chris Bey. Congrats on a great match. You got the biggest pop of the night.
Howdy, homie.
You know, if you're listening, Chris, you got the biggest pop of the night. You should own that. Keep following your dreams, man, because you got some fans here. And
There's going to be a bidding war for that guy soon. The only thing he needs to pop up on is AEW.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of when I saw him, because he's got Impact, Ring of Honor,
And
This is all within
WWE
2
all within a
months.
month. Yeah.
Oh, and Cody's even doing the listing gif at him. You
Yeah.
know? So, you know, who's going to win the Chris Bey sweepstakes? I want to know. But like I said, he's not going to be here next year. He's going to be somewhere big.
And it'd be interesting to if he becomes the first big subject of a bidding war between WWE and AEW.
That'd be great. He's a blue chipper.
Yeah.
He deserves it.
And,
deserves it.
yeah, and you took the. What was I say?
So now, interesting.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Say he's the hardest working guy on the West Coast.
Well,
He's
Cameron, you
become
actually you brought up a really good point earlier. If Chris Bey is to go to new pastures, who should take the belt? Who should be the face of Las Vegas independent wrestling?
Well, your two easier options are to put the belt back on Hammerstone or Killer Cross.
See, but I see both those guys going on to bigger and better things too. I mean, Hammer's getting a lot of.
Cross isn't going anywhere right now, unfortunately.
As soon as he gets out of that contract, something big's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Something big needs to happen, but right now
We're talking about a bidding war.
he's where he's at.
That's a real bidding war once his
Oh,
Impact's
yeah.
contract's up.
Yeah, that's a lot of drama.
Yeah. Well, we're actually trying to get Cross on the show here.
Yeah.
Some legalities that we're not privy to go into right now, but he is a friend of the show, and once he clears up his schedule, we'll see what we can do about letting Killer Cross tell his own story.
Yeah.
Because the man deserves to be heard. He's a very smart guy. He's very,
Looking forward to Natural Born Killers, too.
oh, yes, we'll be promoting that
It's in
as
December.
well, in the next couple of weeks. Great, a lot of great independent shows lined up here in Las Vegas. So let's move on into pop culture. You guys check out that Breaking Bad movie.
It was good, but I was kind of disappointed at the same time.
Why were you disappointed, man?
I was kind of like hoping for more. I kind of wanted to see like if they would have shown like Walter White's family. I want to see if they got the money or not, or what happened to him like after the fact.
Wow. So you were more invested in my least favorite character.
Who's that?
Skyler.
Boo! Boo,
I just want
Skyler.
to see if the family got away with the money and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
I can see where Matt's coming from.
I
would
wanted to
like
see.
have seen-
I wanted to see if Walter Jr. got Breakfast for Life for my own.
It was a good movie though. I liked it.
You know, I liked that it was very Jesse-centric. I liked that, it was closure for him.
Yeah.
And of course, I love that I got to see two of my favorite big characters, Badger and Skinny Pete,
Oh,
in the first act. It was a really good swan song for the character of Jesse Pinkman, who I thought got a real raw deal.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's been in a cage all season, and you just have him drive off in a car.
Yeah.
I got no closure for that, so
True.
I'm glad. I mean, granted, Jesse was a criminal. He should be in jail, but
Everybody wanted to see him get away.
I feel like everything he went through at the hands of like Todd and Uncle Jack. I feel like
Yeah.
he got what he deserves. He paid for it and then some.
True.
He deserved to retire in Alaska, but Jesse didn't even get the money.
Yeah.
It's the best. That's the interesting thing. You live by the sword, you die by the sword, and you go broke.
Wasn't a worse ending than The Sopranos.
It still hurts after all these years. Was it Meadow? I don't know. Who opened the door? Don't stop. All right. Anything else in the world of pop culture, guys? We got Jane the Virgin dropping some N-bombs.
Oh yeah, I saw that. She was just singing the song and everyone gets an uproar. Everybody gets in an uproar over everything nowadays.
That's a touchy issue, but like, my whole take on it is, okay, like, I do karaoke. I'm a karaoke host by trade. I hear people singing songs all the time, and like, I feel like if you're singing a song and that's the actual lyric, and you're not doing it to offend somebody, just give somebody the artistic license. I've heard white guys go out there and try to rap, and some guys won't say the word at all. Some of them will replace it with like stuff like fella. It sounds so weird. Okay, like I have a lot of African American friends. I do. My best friend is African. My ex-girlfriend's African. So it's like, I've had a lot of talks at length about like the do's and don'ts of using certain words and verbiage. And a lot of times, if you're not using it in an offensive manner, a lot of times people don't care. So if somebody's up there just singing a song, and if they're saying it word for word, and if they're not out there, saying, granted, I'm a white guy. What do I know? I have the privilege. I have the privilege of not having to suffer these things, whether I want it or not. I never asked for this privilege. I had it.
Yeah.
It's there. It's white privilege. We have it. We're all three white guys. So
I don't feel privileged by being picked on because
that's irregardless. The point is, there's a stigma out there. But I don't think it's offensive and especially because she's Hispanic.
Yeah.
Gina Rodriguez is Hispanic. She's not even. I don't see anything offensive there, and I feel like all the people who are up in arms about it are just SJWs and snowflakes.
Oh, there's snowflakes
don't
everywhere.
want people to say it. Just don't put it in your lyrics.
Yeah.
And stop assuming that they're not going to sing it in private or in public just because you don't want them to.
I'm sorry, it's a catchy song. Does that mean only black people can appreciate that song? Just putting it out there.
Well, it means either way, it's more money in your pocket. Put out the song, so.
Wasn't the Fugees that got offended by it?
Yeah, it wasn't like Lauryn Hill was.
Warriors.
Yeah, it wasn't like Lauryn Hill was
No,
taking
it was
Twitter
the
saying-
actual privileged white people.
Yeah.
The Twitterati in their New York apartments that have no sense of reality, that these activists that masquerade as journalists.
I kind of had to deal with this a couple weeks ago, a similar situation myself. So I wanted to ask you guys, because we're all guys here. I administer a Facebook group, for nerds. It's a geek group. We post memes and stuff, like all things geek, like Doctor Who, Star Wars, Star Trek. I'm a nerd. I'm proud of it. I wear my nerd flag, very proud. So I post a meme because we were talking about Disney stuff. I posted a meme that just said "Be a man," and it was like a checklist. It said like swiftness of coursing river, strength of a great typhoon, like basically requirements to be a man. And it was everything from I'll make a man out of you song from Mulan.
Yeah.
I posted it, got a lot of laugh emojis, got a lot of thumbs up, one angry face, and it was a dude who commented on it saying, "Oh yeah, that's just what we need to illustrate toxic masculinity in Disney movies."
Oh dear.
Well, that's what people wanted to see in their Disney
Wow,
movie.
dude, like I literally just commented on his post. I'm like, wow, you're literally the guy who takes the piss out of everything. There's one in every crowd. You're that guy. You literally just have to take the piss out of everything. Like,
how compelling would Gaston have been in the villain?
Oh
If
man,
he was just this little beta male who cries about politics all day.
You can't have
And-
two LeFous.
and He clenches his fist like this with his thumb inside of his hand.
but yeah, no.
He drinks soy.
So apparently, like,
Soy boys.
apparently, like,
Nobody
I got
wants to
accused
see
of
that.
being a toxic male for posting.
And they don't want to see it in their wrestling either, for that matter. That's a whole different rant I can go on about.
I saw an interesting interview this week too. Is the guys who make Grand Theft Auto? They said they're legit scared to make the next Grand Theft Auto. Game
Why?
because of all the snowflakes out there are going to be offended by like
So
9
just
tenths of the
release
stuff
it.
is going to be in this game.
Could it
Just
get worse than
give us-
5?
Just give us a nuclear bomb. Give us something that will give them a stroke. They can't do anything about it because
Oh,
their
no,
only-
drop the
their
nuke
only
on the poor part of
recourse
town.
is to go out and shoot people in the streets because they're so angry and offended.
You know what? If you're offended, just keep scrolling. That's all I say. Man, that's the problem with the world today is people get offended over the worst things. Like, really? I
It's
don't get
because
it.
we've been taught.
Oh,
It's we've mistaken the natural order of things as bullying, and so we've instilled it into kids' heads.
You know what?
To
I'm going to side with Cody Rhodes on this one. His motto is hard times breed better men.
Yeah.
What happened to hard times? Is this what happens when we have a two?
you had your hard times when like the kid twice your size
right?
pushed you in the locker. That's where I got my hard time.
You want to know why? You
But
know why?
what? You know what I did? There was something that I didn't do. Is I didn't go on websites or Facebook. I didn't go, stop bullying me. I took
Plot
martial
your
arts
revenge.
classes.
Right? Yeah. What
And
is your
they
self-defense? You know
They-
what? Go into training for wrestling. You know?
Yeah, defend yourself. Do some. This whole stop bullying me. It's just creating this generation of self-important wimps.
Yeah, I mean, I think what people need
They
to
don't know
realize
how
is
to
that,
do anything.
like,
They don't.
like, I'm in my late 30s. I guess I grew up in a generation where, like, I was always told, like, you know, you're not special unless you do something to make yourself special. And now we're in this world where everybody
You're
gets a trophy.
special because you exist.
Yeah, you're special because you exist. Oh, you didn't win, but here's a trophy anyway.
Here's the.
Oh, and it's the same size as the winner's trophy because we don't want the winner to feel special for winning. And I'm sorry, like, I could do a whole other podcast on that alone. There's nothing toxic about wanting to better yourself and strive to be the best. There's nothing toxic about it.
And whether people want to hear it or not, men do have their own plate in this world. We have our own cross to bear.
Yeah, of course.
We have we don't really get any of the credit anymore
No.
because we're being told that everything that we do is bad and everything that women do is good, even the bad things that they do.
You know, and I
don't want to make this.
Cameron, I can talk at
I don't want to
length
make
about
this
this.
a war.
Yeah, I think we're gonna table it right now because we are just about out of time. Any final thoughts, guys? I know this show has been kind of a little bit random, a little bit off panel, off structure, but I'll tell you, man, I love you guys. I miss working with both. I miss working with Cameron. Like it's been a fun trip, and of course we're gonna have Aaron and Scott back in the next couple of weeks, so we'll get back to formula. This has kind of been like a nice little break. I didn't see a lot of questions firing in. Sorry about that. Oh, Scott says he's having a great night on his cruise, going back to the pool and the bar.
The struggle's real, Scott.
Yeah. You know, we're out here just trying to put ourselves over on a podcast, Scott, and you're sipping umbrella drinks with bikini girls at a pool on a boat.
You and your privilege.
You and your privilege. All right. So, I hope it's been a fun show. Granted, Aaron's got some huge shoes to fill, and I can't wait till he's back. I don't usually like taking my hosting duties. But we are Thoughts Count Anywhere. Cameron, you got any final thoughts for us?
Get it together, WWE.
All right. Matt, what you got?
So you can check out the podcast on TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play. We just started a YouTube channel. All the old episodes are on there. Please give us a subscribe, follow us. We'll start giving start doing more stuff online, possible giveaways.
Yep.
We have guests coming.
Honest, I felt so bad that we had. Okay, guys, if you're not listening to the show, you should be, because we actually had extra SmackDown tickets, and we wanted to give them away. By the way, we didn't get those soon.
Yeah, I know.
So-
We found out like the day of.
Yeah, we found out the day of that we had extra tickets, so we apologize to you because we wanted to do a giveaway. We're going to work on our pipeline to get those faster for you guys. But yeah, we do have access to things. We're going to have some really good guests coming
Might
on.
be able to help you out with that.
You know, we definitely will be doing giveaways. We have, autographed merchandise from wrestlers past, present, and future.
Yeah.
We have, access to shows. You want to, heck, I might even do a drawing to get into future BBW shows. So, you'd be my VIP guest.
All right.
So,
Just the hair of it. So.
that's right. Hey, it's a good venue. It's a good venue.
Show them all the holes with all the hockey pucks.
Hey, there's a Flyers banner in there. That's good enough for me. All right, so we are Thoughts Count Anywhere. We are 2 of the 4 Thoughtsmen and Count Out Cameron.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being.
Thanks for coming.
Sorry for my rant at the end there.
No worries, man. We like rants.
I swear
All right,
to
and we're
God.
done, guys. Woo! Not a bad show. I had fun, man. I miss you guys.